tolerance, understanding, love, acceptance, and service. I dedicate this lesson to DeAndre of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I won't give you his last name to protect his privacy, but DeAndre, the very nature of freedom means that you must knock on service's door. For what is freedom but the exercising of your ability to serve? Today's lesson, Ominira, a short story dated about 2,000 years ago. The peacock did not always have the beautiful feathers in which he now takes so much pride. These feathers were granted to him one day after he prayed to be distinguished from all the other birds. He now had this magnificent plumage. Upon granting of his prayer, he walked elegantly amongst the other birds, proudly displaying his newfound beauty. One day the jackal came to prey upon the birds that were feeding in the field. All of the birds saw him in the distance because he was not approaching them as cleverly as he generally did. After much discussion about the confusion of his clumsy approach, all the birds froze in disarray. The peacock, lifting his wings, tried to rise from the ground and attempt to escape and lead the other birds away from the jackal, but found the weight of his new magnificent plumage was too heavy to lift him off the ground. Instead of flying away to safety, he would have to walk the ground oppressed by the very thing in which he had prayed for. The peacock then opened his plumage and cried to the birds to fly away. When the jackal approached the peacock, he stated, "I saw no other birds but you. Your plumage hid all the other birds, and I knew not that they were there until they had all flown to safety. What a huge sacrifice you have made for your brothers. I shall not eat such a noble creature, but continue on my quest for something else to eat." You see, so often we get caught up in praying for things that are to our own benefit. We pray out of selfness and thus don't understand the gifts that are provided through our prayers. We forget that prayer is designed to praise and raise our consciousness as it relates to God. Prayer is not designed to exalt ourselves over others. For when you pray to be on top of another and look up, you see yet another that you must pass or become the target of the one now beneath you. But when you pray to praise and raise others and look up, you see God, and those beneath you know the blessings of your prayers being answered. Ominira means freedom. It speaks to the type of freedom that describes the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved by that which is fleeting or of no true benefit. It refers to the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without the hindrance or restraints or demands of this world. In Galatians 5:13 it states, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather serve one another humbly in love, for such is the nature of a blessing." Today's lesson, do not let yourself be locked back into the yoke of slavery. Be free. Like the peacock, even if you began your prayer based in self, once it's answered, make sure that your newly found blessings benefit the world and those around you. Such is the nature of a blessing. Blessings are provided by God so that they can be shared, added, and multiplied, not stuck in a box or contained in a selfish nature. I am Dr. Siko Adisa. I bid you Betulas. May you find favor in these words and new truths in this story that I share with you today. And as we close, I leave you with Psalms 1. Blessed is the one who does not walk in the step with wicked, or stand in the ways that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but who delights in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted in the streams of waters, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaves do not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Such is the nature of blessings, brothers and sisters. Such is the nature of blessings. I ask that you take the blessings that you have today and share them with someone who's looking for that blessing. And for each blessing that you get, make sure that that blessing is added upon to and multiplied and felt by all those who touch you. I bid you Betulas and good night.